going on, guys? It's Dev here, and today I would like to talk about some of the new balance changes that are coming in the next update for February 13, 2017. And by the time this video is up, the update will probably be out in about less than 24 hours time. So without further ado, let us jump into some replays, and then we will start off with the balance changes discussion. Right, first off, the Executioner, his damage is getting a nerf, a 6% damage nerf, and his range is also getting a nerf. From 5 tiles is now going to be 4.5 tiles, and the X hit radius is going to be reduced by 10%. All of this in addition to the fact that his attack no longer has a mini stun effect, and also he is no longer able to hit troops behind him. But the stun effect and the ability to hit troops behind him, that nerf will only come at a later update, where they will have to update the entire game client for it to work. Now, so basically tomorrow, you will be seeing a huge nerf to an Executioner, a damage reduction, a range reduction, and a X hit radius reduction. Obviously, the Executioner is the most overpowered card in the game right now, and the most overused card in the game right now, simply because of its immense power. It can survive a lightning, a fireball, even a fireball lock. The Executioner is still standing. They have not nerfed his health, which is good, I suppose, and he's able to two-shot minions. Not sure how this damage will change his card interactions. I believe you can watch OJ's video on that, but anyways, huge nerf to the Executioner, so quite a shame for those who have spent gems, just to gem him all the way up to max. Nonetheless, I feel that the Executioner is still going to be a very viable and very strong card inside of challenges. Maybe not so much on ladder anymore, but yeah, anyways, moving on to the next card, Poison. Duration is going to be reduced to 8 seconds from 10 seconds, and the DPS for the Poison is going to be increased by 24%. What this basically means is that the Poison spell's DPS is not going to experience any changes at all. However, the Poison spell will now deal damage at a much faster rate, so you don't have to keep enemy units inside the Poison's radius for as long for the Poison's full damage to take effect. Also, when it is especially useful in overtime, where you have to use your Poison spell to take out an opponent's tower, and this will really help in speeding up the takedown of the opponent's tower. So very nice change. It might look like a nerf at first glance, but it is actually a buff. However, why do some people feel that it is a nerf is simply because it offers less area denial, or less denial time, I would say, for troops to be able to spawn inside of the Poison spell, because of its shorter duration time now. Enemy troops, your enemy will be able to place their troops inside the Poison's radius slightly sooner as compared to previously. So yeah, anyways, the next card, Witch, damage buffed by 6%. Now the Witch has received a lot of buffs, buffs for skeletons, buff for her own health, and of course buffs for her damage previously, but the Clash Royale team still feel that that is not enough, and they are once again increasing the Witch's damage to 6%, by another 6%, and that is really quite a lot of buffs given to the Witches. It might make the Witch the next most OP card after this balance update, but we'll see. The Clash Royale team has also stated that her use rate is quite low in the later arenas, but I feel that her use rate is actually average. Okay, it's somewhat like the Hawk Rider. You don't see all the time, but you see sometimes. The Witch obviously isn't a win condition, but is a fantastic support card. Buffing her damage means that she'll now be able to one-shot skeletons at the tournament standards, which really changes gameplay quite a bit. I do not feel that it needs a buff, but oh well, we'll see what this change brings about. And the next troop, we have the P.E.K.K.A. The P.E.K.K.A.'s deploy time has been decreased to 1 second from 3 seconds. That is a huge buff for the P.E.K.K.A. Okay, you are now able to use the P.E.K.K.A. to counter stuff such as giants and Hawk Riders much more easily as compared to previously, whereby the P.E.K.K.A. Takes 3 seconds to deploy, by the time your P.E.K.K.A has been deployed, the Hawk Rider or Giant might have already smashed down half of your tower, rendering it almost useless. So this is a large buff to the P.E.K.K.A, but in some aspect it is also a nerf, because you know, when people use the P.E.K.K.A, they usually want to build up a huge push behind him. Obviously want to put some splash damage dealing cards such as the Wizard or the Witch behind the P.E.K.K.A to, you know, so that the P.E.K.K.A doesn't get distracted by other small troops. And this will not make P.E.K.K.A beat down decks as powerful as before, but it will certainly boost the P.E.K.K.A's overall defensive power as compared to its offensive power. Next up, we have the Dark Prince, one of the most least used cards right now, simply because, you know, it's just useless, and Clash Royale team has taken note of that and decided to give it a hit point boost of 5%, which is really good. And I feel that the buff is not enough to make the Dark Prince strong. They will certainly need to buff the Dark Prince a lot more if they want it to be used more frequently. Simply put, the Dark Prince can be easily countered even by a Skami, despite his charge attack having a 360 degrees of splash, because the splash radius is simply not wide enough to take out the whole Skami. And also, the Dark Prince by himself does not have a lot of health. Of course, the shield mechanic is nice, but you know, it's more of a gimmick rather than a game changer in the current meta right now. Next up, the Baby Dragon. Its range has been increased to 3.5 from 3. Quite similar to the previous Wizard buff, but I find that the Baby Dragon is still pretty underpowered as an epic card, and that's not really gonna increase its use rate much. So I feel that the Baby Dragon still needs a bigger buff, and this 0.5 tile increase won't really change much interactions with the Baby Dragons and the other cards. Skeletons, their count has now been increased to 4 again. Okay, previously when the game first came out, there's always been 4 skeletons for a very long time, until the Clash Royale team decided to give it a nerf by taking away 1 skeleton, and that basically made the whole skeleton card useless, especially so when the Ice Spirit came out, which is obviously a much better 1 elixir cost card as compared to the skeletons. Now bringing back the 4th skeleton, I suppose this will be rather big buff to the skeletons, I would say, and maybe make them useful again. You can now use them to effectively counter a miner again and distract other small troops. 4 skeletons are definitely much easier to control as compared to 3 in my opinion, so yeah, very nice, but I still don't really use the skeletons much, but again, that's just my opinion. The last card which we are seeing a nerf to would be the Skeleton Army. Its skeleton count has been decreased to 15 from 16, and I believe they want to nerf this card simply because its usage rate is extremely high now. The Skeleton Army used to be a pretty weak card when it spawned 20 skeletons, but then 20 or 30, I can't really remember, but then its skeletons level was so low that it was a completely useless card, and after the buff, the Skeleton Army has become a very strong card inside the game, and I can see why they want to give it sort of a small nerf. Okay, this reduction in 1 skeleton doesn't really change card interactions much. If they really want to nerf it, I suppose they should impose a bigger nerf on it, even though I'm a huge fan of the Skeleton Army. I believe this is more of just for fun, since according to the notes, they said that a critical change to maintain the delicate balance of skeleton equilibrium within the arena. So basically, the 1 skeleton from the Skeleton Army has joined the 1 elixir skeletons instead. So yeah, that is pretty much my thoughts on the update changes. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. Do you think the update changes are good, or are they bad for the current meta of the game? And this has been Dev04066. Peace out.